Hello? I've turned the recording back on because we're going to use this. Good evening, Devin Van Langen. Am I saying that right? Hold on, let me make sure you guys are all unmuted. All right, you guys all there?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I see I've got Mr. Graham just got on here. Mrs. on here. Let's see. Oh, did people get, okay, I've got the Van Langen family. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
And, Trinity's iPhone, although I see her thermostat, nothing more. I just let in Mason, and here's a Gracie, and then here's a Peyton. Let's see. All right, guys, bear with us, okay? Listen, we've never done anything like this. You'll probably hear me say this a couple times. Those of you just getting in, it's me and Mr. Graham. I'm Mr. Wallace. It's me and Mr. Graham and Mrs. Fields. And we are recording, by the way, so you guys can use any of this after the fact. I think the goal is marketing is going to post this, and then you'll be able to pick up whatever you want. Can you guys all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And if you don't mind, unless you have something to say, if you want to keep yourself muted, that's great. But not your face. Voices. I want to see you. Although I see people have knocked themselves out. Here we go, Robert and Mrs. Fields. Mr. Graham, I just resent the roster to you. Did you get it?
Sure. No, I'm here too. I just told you that. So you handle me.
Hey, Mrs. Fields. Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Graham. I just unmuted you. Hey, Mr. Graham,
Yes,
do you have the new roster?
I do. Well, I got the one you gave me the other day.
No, we got a new one. I'm going to email it to you right now, okay?
Okay.
Stand by.
Standing by to stand by.
I like better.
Okay, so Mr. Graham, there's our new roster. You got it?
I'm working it.
Okay.
Yep, I got it.
All right, so everybody that's on here right now, if you could just mute yourself for the time being. And then Mr. Fields, Mrs. Fields, excuse me, and Mr. Graham are going to be taking attendance. And you don't have to mute your video. We'd like to see who you are.
I do have just a quick question for Marion Sullivan. What is the student's name that's with you?
Hold on. Did you get that, Marion Sullivan?
Yeah, Liam Dean.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Welcome.
There you go. And that's how
Yeah.
we're going to be doing this tonight, guys. You got 3 educators on here, and we're going to be working as a team. And again, if you just got in, I am Mr. Wallace. Also with me tonight is Mrs. Fields, Mrs. Angela Fields, and Mr. Jim Graham. Mrs. Fields is one of our English educators, and Mr. Graham is my teacher aide in title, co-teacher in unofficially. So, and I am recording this again, so just putting that out there for you. Okay, there's another one. Admit. And we're still 7 minutes out, so we're gonna just chill. So Mason Hammond just came in. Good evening, Mason. Mason, you with me? Hey, Gracie, you gonna let us see who you are? And Laura? We'd love to see who you are. Here, I wonder if I can't do it, can I? All right, so Trinity's got themselves. That's nice. All the kids are basically muting their voices and their pictures. So you have so far Trinity, Peyton, Liam, Gracie.
I don't see Gracie. Do you?
Gracie Klaus.
I don't have that name on my list unless it's she.
Gracie, is there a different name for you? I just unmuted her. There's Mason right there. Hi, Mason. Let's see. There's Shannon Maynard. Okay, so you don't even have the last name Krause at all? Krause? Uh-oh. Is she in the right place?
I was wondering. I don't know.
Let's see.
Then Shannon Maynard.
Gracie, can you hear me?
Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Shannon, what is your student's name?
It's Jordan Nesbitt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
He'll be right here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Gracie Krause, can you hear me? I've unmuted you. Mrs. Durkin wants to come in. There's Mrs. Durkin. We gotta let her in. Hello, Mrs. Durkin. Let me see where she's at. Do you guys see her in here?
I see that she's here, but I don't see anything else.
There she is. Hey, Mrs. Durkin, I know you can hear me.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to check in, make sure everything, no technical difficulties, looks good.
Hey, while we have you, we have a young lady by the name of Gracie Krause, and we don't have her on our latest, greatest roster, and she's with us, but she's not responding.
How do I spell the last name? I can look it up right now.
Krause.
Let me check, okay?
Mm-hmm. And I've got her mic open so she can speak to us, but she's elected not to thus far. So
Gracie is in the Fairfield Criminal Justice.
what? Okay, Gracie Krause, are you hearing me? Mrs. Durkin, if you got her contact, could you call her home and give her a heads up maybe? Or do you not?
I am. And now is she on here with us right now?
She is on here with us. We can't see her face, but she's on, and I've left her mic open so she can talk to us. I'm going to move her back to the waiting room.
Okay, Gracie, can you talk to us? Are you there? I'll give her a chat here.
Okay. Put in waiting room. Okay. Oh, not you. Okay. All right. Peyton. Peyton, did you fall out and then come back in? All right, and please, everybody bear with us. I see an Owen Tisdale. Tell you what, I'm gonna unmute everybody, and I'm okay with that for a moment here. All right, so I'm gonna holler your name and say hello to us. Shannon Maynard.
Hi.
So Shannon, you're with your son, correct?
Yes, it's Jordan Nesbitt.
Jordan, you say hey, dude.
I did. I said hi.
Okay, okay. Let's see, Owen Tisdale. Owen, say hello to us.
Hi.
Let's see. Everybody okay? Marion Sullivan.
Hi,
Who's that?
nice to meet you. This is Liam Dean.
My bad, Liam. I apologize. There's lots of
You're
you.
okay.
Get used to it.
And nobody's ever going to give me a prize for technology stuff. John Ennis, are you here?
I'm right here.
What is your name?
It's Marianus.
All right.
One more time.
Marianus.
Okay, thank you. Marion Sullivan.
That's me. That's Liam. That's me. That's Liam.
Mason Ham. Mason, you gonna say hello to us, dude? I'm looking at you.
Turn just my socks.
Okay, hold on. I got Brooklyn coming in.
What happened to?
All right, here's Mason. All right, Mason, dude, look at that hair. That's a hairdo, man. Nice, son. Can you hear us, Mason? I don't
I think he's having trouble with his audio, he said.
Okay, well, I can see him. Welcome. Owen Tisdale.
Hi there.
Peyton Leeper.
Hi.
Hi. Brooklyn.
Hi.
Hi. Let's see. Let me unmute all here. Chandler Block.
Hello.
Hey, and Mrs. Durkin, I got you.
And then go by. Go by.
Hey, Chandler's dad is
So
here
we
as
can
well.
drive your car and you can drive that. Go by. We have the money.
Hold on. Oh, the Mr. Miller's trying to get in with us.
Cool.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute everybody for a moment. No, and then I'm gonna grab Mr. Miller on here. Hey, Mr. Miller.
Hey, how are you, Eric? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, and quite frankly, I've got you on and everybody else muted.
Okay, perfect.
Would you just introduce yourself? I haven't showed your video yet. We're still just
Okay.
kind of doing attendance, so don't be
You wanna-
mad at
You want
us.
to sit here with us?
Yeah, perfect. Well, my
We
name's
should put
Mr.
Liam in the
Miller.
middle.
I'm one of the
You know him?
counselors here at the Career Center, and I'm the one who specifically works with criminal justice students. So I'm looking forward to meeting all of you and getting to know you over the next 2 years and working with you to get your plans for after you graduate through here. So it's nice to meet you all.
And Mr. Miller, guys, so you all know, is the gentleman, I'm going to show you a video, and he's going to discuss things that are in his lane about scheduling and such. And moving forward for the next 2 years, mom and dad, Mr. Miller is going to be the man that you would see, your child would see if they had scheduling conflicts, if they were dealing with things and they just needed to have a conversation with an intelligent person who has their hand on that sort of thing. So he's our guy. And so remember that name. His name is Mr. Miller. And again, you'll see a video here in a minute. We're going to get started. I want to be done with my portion of it by 6:30 and then give you 15, 20 minutes, if longer, to ask questions. Again, I am Mr. Wallace, and I am the criminal justice instructor here at Eastland Career Center. If you've never seen me before, hold on, I'm trying to pull myself up. I'm clearly not very good. There I am. And this is my finishing my 13th year. Actually graduated from the program that I teach in 1983. And the gentleman that I replaced was Mr. Dan Gardner, and he was my teacher. And he retired in 2007. And I was very fortunate to be 20 years into a law enforcement career, and I resigned to become the criminal justice teacher. So I'm excited. I'm a career military guy. I served 25 years in the Ohio Air National Guard, retired as the command chief, master sergeant at Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base in 2016.
I started it. I'm gonna go back and get it.
I love teaching. Mr. Graham, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody, I'm Mr. Graham. I came on board with Mr. Wallace last year in this tumultuous school year. Before that, I started law enforcement when I was 18 years old. I started out in the military as an MP. When I decided to get out, I went to Franklin County and did corrections for about 3 years. Corrections, I went to the Gahanna Police Department, and I stayed there for 24 years. I retired in 2013 as a sergeant. At Gahanna, I did pretty much everything, anything from SWAT to bicycle patrol to training. I pretty much was a jack of all trades. I was retired for 2 years. I got bored of hunting and fishing. I know, believe that. And went to the Children's Hospital. And I thought I would go down there and do some time down there. I did 4 years. I left there as a lieutenant and started in with Mr. Wallace. And I got to say, I absolutely am having a ball. I love it. I love being with all the kids. I love telling stories. I'm like the story guy. Mr. Wallace will give something in the class, and he'll turn to me, and I'll have a story or another. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys in person and having a great year.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Mrs. Fields.
Hi, I'm Angie Fields, or Mrs. Fields, and I'm an academic teacher at Eastland. I teach English, and this is my 7th year. I sometimes lose track, but my 7th year at Eastland, and I've worked at Eastland the whole time, teaching English. So I teach some accelerated English classes, and I also do just some traditional English classes as well. So I might have you next year. I'm sure I'll have at least like 1 or 2 of you that are here tonight. So we'll be seeing each other again. But like Mr. Wallace was saying, I think he mentioned it when some of the people were coming in earlier, but I'm on his activity team. So I come in and out of your lab every now and then, help you guys out with different things. When we have nights like tonight, I will be in to help you guys out. So you'll see me around. And if you ever have any big English questions, you can always ask me. So nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, Mrs. Fields. And again, if you didn't see him, Mr. Miller is still on with us now. And it's nice to have him on there. And again, it's important to remember that name. Guys, I'm going to go really quickly here. You can unmute yourself at will, but if you want to write down a question or more and either put them in the chat, Mrs. Fields and Mr. Graham are going to be kind of manning that thing. And they'll try to answer them, or you can wait till the end and you could actually verbalize your question. So bear with me. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you because there's things that you need to see that I think are going to be vitally important to you. So stand by. Let me get my new student celebration folder up here. So the first thing I want to do is, again, this is Mr. Miller's message to incoming juniors and parents, about 4 minutes long. And pay attention to what the web browser says at the top. You might want to listen to it later. So let's give this a listen. Is it? Stand by, guys.
Welcome to Eastland Career Center. Did you know not only does ECC have amazing labs, they also offer an assortment of incredible academic classes. For example, math. Math offers geometry, algebra 2, algebra 3, transitions, statistics, pre-calculus, and calculus. Several of these courses are offered as College Credit Plus classes. You do need 4 credits of math for graduation. Science. Keep in mind if you're a cosmetology or dental assisting student, it is required that you complete anatomy and physiology during your junior year. That is if you have not already completed it at your home school. Those programs are also encouraged to take chemistry their senior year. If you are in landscape design and management, it is required that you complete plant science during your junior year. If you're in medical office, it is required that you complete anatomy and physiology your senior year. And if you are in culinary, it is required that you complete biology food science your senior year. Science offers anatomy and physiology, physics, chemistry, environmental science, plant science, and biology food science. You are required to have 3 credits of science to graduate. Social studies. Social studies offers government and economics. Both are semester courses taken your junior year. Each course is worth half a credit. The electives for social studies include psychology, sociology, history through film, and world geography. If you have not completed American history or world history, those courses are available through Trekka Online. You are required to have 3 credits of social studies courses to graduate. English. English offers English 3, English 4, Accelerated English 3, Accelerated English 4, and Freshman Composition, which is a CCP course. You need 4 credits of English to graduate. Our Media Center. The Media Center provides fiction and nonfiction books in many formats, print and audio books, and ebooks. The Media Center also provides access to several databases for school projects. The Media Center is open daily from 7:45 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. It provides comfortable space for student collaboration, quiet study, printing, researching, and unwinding during lunch. Ms. Anderson, our awesome media specialist, is always available to assist you in finding just the right books or material and in using the databases to find the information that you will need to be successful at ECC. The SLC, Student Learning Center. There are several reasons to visit the SLC, which include help on assignments, taking a test, it's a quiet place to study, to use a computer, or if you need organizational help. Our awesome Miss Huey and incredible Miss Maddox are happy to help you. The SLC is open from 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m., and it is open for all students. For scheduling requests, you will need to visit the website for one day. The website is onedayefcts.com. Once you're on that website, you will click the link to submit your scheduling requests for the 2021 school year. This will send you to a Google form. Please make sure to complete all of the information within the form. Welcome to ECC. We can't wait to meet you.
Okay. So guys, I'm going to send that web link to all of your email addresses after this meeting. And I'm telling you, Mr. Miller is a guy you're going to want to make sure you remember that name. Mr. Graham and I are moving heaven and earth, well, probably Mrs. Fields as well, to help some seniors graduate from high school right now this week. And Mr. Miller has been in lockstep trying to make sure that these seniors are taking care of their business, crossing T's and dotting I's. So please get familiar with his name, get familiar with that 4-minute and 5-second video. He offered you a ton of great information, and he is going to be the man that you're going to talk to about scheduling and scheduling changes. And again, even more importantly, he is a wonderful, wonderful person to just sit down and have a conversation with. If you are feeling any sort of way, I assure you that's part of what he does for a living as a guidance counselor. And him and his counterpart, Mrs. Ferrero, they are really, really good at it. So please, please use their services. We're going to move on. I think everybody's in. Mr. Graham and Mrs. Fields, I think there were some things that were in chat. Anything that I need to address at this minute, or are we in good shape? Can I keep moving for now?
We just have a couple people who are having issues with audio and maybe their video not working. So if we don't see them, it may just be a video issue or something along those lines. But that's the biggest thing that we have there. One other quick thing for everybody, I added the 2 links. So the video that you just watched, I added that link into the chat. And I've also added a link to the one-day website that Mr. Wallace said he's also going to send out to you. So you'll get it multiple times probably, but
We're going to
there
get
it
on
is.
it here. Mrs. Fields, we're going to get on it in just a moment, but thank you. So Mrs. Fields is clearly way better at this stuff than me. Now, guys, the problem is you won't necessarily have access to those after this meeting's over. So if you want those, grab them. Although I sent all of you the one-day link. We did just have a young person come in, Yisan Samboy. So Yisan, if you want to send us a chat, you can hear us and all as well. That would be great. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to share my screen with you because I want you to also see a very important page that they just talked about. And it's this onedayefcts.com. Now, it's a little confusing because they tell you to go to, excuse me, EFCTS one day. But when you type that in, what you get in your web browser is onedayefcts.com. I don't know why it does it, but it's backwards. The important thing to know is there are so many things that you need to know about in this website. Clearly, you got on our Zoom via this website. Right here are uniforms. So everything that you need to know about, there's a uniform fitting guide, although I sent it to you today. If you look right here, you can contact this pro forma organization. There's a phone number, an extension, and there's an email address for Mrs. Woodtick as well. And all you have to do is plug your information in and tell them what school you're in and what program you're in, and they will get you started. I'm asking you with regard to uniforms, do not put this off. You want to show up in August in that uniform, ready to rock and roll. Now, will there be some issues? Could be, yes. But the sooner you get a uniform, the better. You're going to notice the one thing that's not on the uniform that's sold by Proforma is boots. You need to buy yourself a good pair of black utility boots, not steel-toed. Not steel-toed. They should be 6 inches preferably. Mr. Graham, you agree 6 inches? Okay, shaking his head, yes, he likes that too. They should be boots that you can shine with shoe polish, and we will provide that as often as we can. And you can get those boots. You can order them at Gall's online. You could order them at 511 online. You could go to Vance's. It's on Alum Creek Drive, right at 270 in Obetz, Ohio. And they got great boots. Now remember, the less you spend on your boots, probably the less they're going to last. So if you know your student, your kid needs 2 years out of a pair of boots, if you spend $100 and you get a super good boot that's going to last for 2 years and longer, you might want to do that. If that's not for you, then you do what you need to do and get your child in the boot that you guys are comfortable with, and I'm going to be good with that. So there's your uniform stuff right there. As you can see, this one-day website's got a whole lot of stuff in here for you, enrollment information. And let me go ahead and get rid of this one. And I want to pull up this schedule. And guys, I sent you all of this. Your first day of class is right here. It's August 13th. I need you all to understand you are no longer on your homeschool schedule when you start at Eastland Career Center. So your spring break, your Christmas break, your holiday breaks, Christmas, Thanksgiving, so forth, so on, they're not on your homeschools. They're on ours. So if our spring break does not match your homeschool, don't take that week off. You're taking our week off, and don't take them both off under the misguided belief that, well, your school's not in, so you're not in. The only exception that you get for this is if your school is on a snow day, either 2-hour delay or full day, and you can't get to school because your school has closed, then you will be excused from attendance. I got lots of kids who still show up, which I appreciate, but I get it. But other than those snow days, your homeschool days off are not your school days off. So if everybody's looking to schedule me, for instance, you are off on those Black Star days. In November, there you can see your Thanksgiving. In December, you can see your Christmas. In March, going into April, you can see your spring break. So that's just an example. And then, of course, there's some one-off days that you are not in school either because of holidays. And again, I sent all this to you. Now, I'm going to say this. If we don't have your email address, if I were you, put it in the chat so Mr. Graham and Mrs. Fields can write it down, and we can plug those email addresses into the Excel spreadsheet that we got from Mrs. Durkin. So we good there. We're going to move. Again, I sent you this. This is your uniform measuring guide. Use this bad boy to figure out what your uniform is going to be. Students, remember, 2 years you're going to wear that uniform. Mom and dad probably doesn't want to hear from you in March of your junior year and say, well, I got to have all new uniforms. The goal is that if these uniforms are well taken care of, that generally speaking, you could get a couple of years out of them. Not always the case, but that's the goal. Important for me and Mr. Graham. This is Remind. This is your Remind class. You all need to download the Remind app, or if you want to do option B at the bottom of the screen here, you can text 81010, plug in your class of 2022 code, and you're in business. But if you want full benefit of this thing, you should download the app and then get yourself in, as it says in option A. Mom and dad, you too should join Remind. Remind is a very safe, appropriate way for us to communicate with your children in a text messaging format. It is completely transcripted. It can't be altered. It can't be amended. It can't be deleted. It's really, really nice. And what's going to happen is when Mr. Graham and I communicate with our students, we're going to use Remind if they're not in school. We might even use Remind for the senior class who's not in the morning, or for the junior class who's not with us in the afternoon. Mom and dad, I'm going to tell you right now that I'd like you I'm going to send you my cell phone number. You are welcome to put my cell phone number in your phone. Students, I do not want you calling me on my cell phone or texting me on my cell phone. It's imperative, unless there is a dire emergency, that we will communicate via Remind or email or on the work telephone, and I'll show you that number here momentarily. So this is Remind. A bunch of you have already joined, and I appreciate it. So this is for the rest of you. That's our Remind ECC CJ class of 2022. Mrs. Fields wouldn't be offended if you wanted to be part of that. You're welcome to be. Mr. Graham, I know you're in my other classes, and of course, I'm going to give you ownership to this page as well. All right. All right, guys. Listen, we really have not seen you other than maybe sophomore visits, or maybe you came in and you came in February or March because you wanted to kick the tires one more time. Well, we're all so glad you're here. I promise you, Mr. Graham and I are going to do everything we can to make you competent, confident, and capable of having a ground level understanding of the criminal justice career field. Please don't narrowly focus on the idea that you've got to become a Columbus police officer or a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy. There are so many good jobs in criminal justice, and they're uniformed, they're non-uniformed, they're non-law enforcement. And the reality is that we are going to provide a plethora of speakers from a wide variety of criminal justice backgrounds. Mr. Graham and I are going to also take you on field trips, and we're going to show you things that might be of value to you. We're also going to immerse you in the military. law enforcement is paramilitary. Please know that it is important that you understand that the military is an option for you. Law enforcement agencies love people that serve in the armed forces. Nobody's going to make you join the military. I'm just telling you that it is also a primary component of our program. Down here, quickly, I got a letter from, this is Officer Craig Bradford. And again, I sent this to you in an email. And Officer Bradford is huge in our advisory committee. And this is just a nice welcome letter from him. Up here, let's see, social media platforms. I would love for you all to consider to follow our program. This is our Facebook page. This is our Instagram. Guys, this Instagram is for my job strictly. So my family's not on there. This is for me to show off you and former students and our guest speakers and our great field trips. If you go to Instagram, that's our Instagram site. There's our Twitter right there. And below that is our, below that is our website. Let's see, got all that, that's on there. And I'm going fast, guys, trust me. Listen, I want you to take a look at some of these things because Mr. Graham and I are going to ask you to swear out an oath when you start. And that oath is right here. You're going to sign this and we're going to sign it with you. And basically it's just your promise to abide by the rules, the regulations, the way things are done, and to also abide by our core values. And I'm going to post those here for you. Guys, this is a criminal justice program. And these are the things I'm looking for right here. And I'm going to just say it right here. And I know Mr. Graham's going to agree with me. If you can't do this stuff on the left side of your screen, honesty, teamwork, professionalism, self-discipline, work in a safe manner. If you can't do these things, man, you could be in the wrong program, because we are going to try to give you an education that is based on integrity and self-discipline and professionalism. And yes, I know you're kids, but you've chosen a law enforcement career field. Lab rules and procedures. Listen, this thing is 9 pages long. I'm not going through it. I want you, again, you have it. I want you to go through it. I am going to go to the last page because it deals with everything: uniform, hair, piercings. I want to say something about piercings right now. So before your mom and dad spend the money, young men, you will not be wearing earrings in our uniform, not in our classroom, not in your academic classrooms. There'll be no facial piercings. There'll be no tongue piercings. That's for boys and girls. It's not appropriate in a law enforcement uniform. So if you're listening to my voice and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I got a tongue ring and I can't get rid of it. You're in the wrong program. I hope that's not you. This is a law enforcement program. When you put on our uniform, we're going to expect you to be squared away. You will see, it says right here, absolutely no face piercings of any kind, to include tongue rings with or without the ball on the top or the bottom. We do a lot of physical fitness stuff. It becomes a safety issue when you have open wounds on your face, and facial piercings are open wounds. And then this is some more stuff. Guys, you're going to do physical fitness 3 days a week. 3 days a week, we're going to do physical fitness. Could be relay races. It could be CrossFit. It could be running outside, push-ups, sit-ups. On Fridays, we do team sports. But again, know this: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as juniors in high school, you're going to do physical fitness. It won't be optional, won't be recommended or suggested. You will do physical fitness. So again, if you're thinking to yourself, don't know about all that, think about that. let me keep going down here because the last page, this one, you and your parents are going to sign together. And basically this 9-page document is what Mr. Graham and I are going to expect from you. And in return, we're going to give you a solid education for 2 years that hopefully when you leave, you're going to be able to engage in an intelligent conversation with a college professor, a law enforcement instructor, a military policeman instructor at a military organization, or a security job, or some loss prevention job. You're going to be able to take away from Mr. Graham and I the ability to understand what's being expected of you and then talk in a competent manner and perform in a competent manner. It doesn't mean you're going to be an expert, so don't panic. But here's what I need you to see. It says in all cap, failure to comply with all the components of this document may jeopardize your continued enrollment in the CJ program. So guys, right up front, physical fitness, wearing your uniform right, not having facial piercings, those things are important. And the last thing I'm going to mention on this before I pull up our syllabus is you will not have your cell phone for the 2 hours and 40 minutes that you are with Mr. Graham and I. What's going to happen is when you walk through the door, your phone will go in a box and it will sit in that box locked up. We promise to never look at your phone. That's your business. But your phone will be in a box. It will be secure and you will get it back just before you depart our lab. We are not competing with your cell phone. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, dude wants my cell phone, I want you to lock your cell phone. You're not putting it in a locker. You're not putting it in a coat or a book bag. It's going to be in the box every day. And I promise you, you'll get it back at the end of each lab period with us. And then you can take it with your academic classes. And if your academic instructors let you have your phone, then that's their prerogative. So I hope everybody understands that. This is our syllabus. This is really cool, guys. This is the nuts and bolts. There's our badge, right? That's the original badge from when I was a student. My goodness, 35 years ago. But this is what Mr. Graham and I are going to do right here. We are preparing young men and women for a post-secondary education and or an exciting career in the criminal justice career field. And I promise you, you come to our school and you give 110%, Mr. Graham and I are going to give 150%, you will get out of it what you expected and then some. These are our 4 components: American criminal justice system, forensics and investigation, police work, correction system, and we also do homeland security, which we're doing a lot right now with the kids that, since we're out of school. These are colleges that we have relationships with. So these relationships mean that when you come to Eastland Career Center, because Mr. Graham and I are teaching you, Columbus State Community College will give you 15 credit hours right here that they will give you walking through the door as a brand new student at Columbus State Community College. COTC at the top, they'll give you 8 hours. And Hocking College will give you 8 credit hours there in Nelsonville. But we'll tell you way more about that too. Let me keep moving here because again, I want to open the floor up. These are some of the things that you will demonstrate for us. Now keep in mind, I don't want you to hyperventilate. We'll teach them first. And not only will we teach them, since we have Mr. Graham in the room, we've got the ability to do a full classroom lesson. And then I can send Mr. Graham off to the side with 2 of you at a time. And you guys can demonstrate out stuff that we're teaching. And he can give you guidance and input. And it's really, really way better than, when it's just me by myself teaching it and then walking around the room as you all demonstrated as a big group. So we got a great benefit to have a very competent teacher aide in the room with me. This is some more things, guys. You're going to get a laptop while you access to a laptop. Take care of it. Hoping to have a lot of diversity in the classroom. I don't know what that looks like right now, but I have very high expectations about how we are going to treat one another. And I will tell you that I'm going to tell you early and often, I'm going to need you to respect yourself, respect your fellow classmates, respect your educators, do your best and come to school. These are the textbooks we use. We're really pretty lucky. These are all college level textbooks. I use them. I'm an adjunct professor at Columbus State Community College. And these textbooks are textbooks that I use at a college level. And then we also use the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy. And then we teach emergency dispatching as well. Here is how we do the grades. So we weight. All of our grades are weighted. So your test and quizzes are 20%. Employability, and again, Mr. Graham and I will go way in detail on that, but if you want to try to understand it, it's right here, as you can see, employability. You'll start with an A each week, and if you manage to come to school every day with your uniform on right, you got your ID card, and your hair looks good, and your face is well shaven, and you got writing utensils, and you got your PT gear, and you got a great attitude, well, you'll wind up with an A every week in this employability grade. But every day that you don't comply with those things is a letter reduction grade. We'll do a physical fitness assessment every 9 weeks. We'll grade a notebook every 9 weeks. Homework and demonstrated ability. We don't give a lot of homework, but you will write term papers or research papers. Mrs. Fields actually comes in and helps with that. And then you'll take this 21st century workforce class, and that's with Mrs. Sitzman. And that is an employability class where she teaches you how to interview and also to write a resume and all of that sort of thing. Here are all those things spelled out. Here's our grading scale. All right, let me see what else I got in here. I think I gave you lab rules and procedures, core values, syllabus, our oath, our social media, the calendar, remind, uniform measuring, and the welcome letter. Let me stop sharing here. Let me put myself back on here. All right. I've said a whole lot, and you've been drinking from a fire hose, and I get that. I also know that I sent you all the documents that I just showed you. On May 15th, which is next Friday, I think, Mr. Graham and I are going to be at Eastland, and we're actually I'm going to print all those documents off, and then he and I are going to stuff envelopes, and we're going to put all this stuff in the mail. So hopefully the first week, early in the week of the 18th, so like the 19th or 20th of May, hopefully you'll have all the documents that I just showed you in a very quick manner, of course. But you'll have all those documents and you'll be able to digest this further. Listen, this can't be the last time we communicate. You can contact me on Remind. Mom and Dad, I'm getting ready to fire you an email with my cell phone number. You can email us. You know what? I didn't show you that. Hold on one second. Give me one more. I want to do something here. Core values. On the front of this syllabus is Mr. Graham and I's email addresses right here. This is our office phone number, and these are our email addresses. You may email both of us. Now, this is only his second year, so he might not have the answer immediately because he just doesn't know. But don't be afraid to fire him an email and ask him a question. Because trust me, the more we're in there, the more we're gonna be in lockstep. So this summer, I'm going to attempt to reach out to you guys every 3 weeks or so, 2 weeks, I don't know, via Remind, just to check on you. Respond to me. I'm not going to bite you. Mom and Dad, if you want to call me, call me. If you want to email us. If you got questions about uniforms and where and what types of notebooks to buy, just let us know. All right, so it's 6:38. Mr. Graham, did you want to add anything before I open this up for question?
Yes, I do. We touched on PT. Please don't freak out. Okay. We have a lot of fun with PT. For the summer, don't sit around in the quarantine and eat little Debbie cakes all summer. Get out, get moving, have fun, stay safe, but do some type of exercise, because when we come in, we're going to hit the ground running and we're going to get started. No one gets left behind. The team only goes as fast as the slowest person.
Absolutely.
But everyone will participate. That's all I have.
Thank you. Hey, I see Mr. Graham answered a question for one of you. Hey guys, listen, in that nine-page rules and procedures, young men, you will wear your hair close cropped. You see mine, you see Mr. Graham's. Now I got a jacked up haircut because my wife cut my hair and it's horrible. She meant well, but we can't go to a barber, so it is what it is.
This is the longest my hair has ever been, and they will not see it this way.
There you go. So, young men, now I see you, I know you see facial hair in Mr. Graham and I. We're both 55 years old. We have gone unshaven our entire adult lives in our law enforcement and military careers. We've let ourselves up off the mat. Young men, you will keep your faces close shaved. They will be shaved. Young ladies, you will wear your hair in a at the most flexible is going to be in a ponytail. But on Wednesdays and Fridays, it's hair down day. So young ladies, on Wednesday and Friday, if you wear your hair well groomed, you can wear it down. Young men, you will get a tight haircut, and you will keep that haircut tight, off your ear, off your collar. The bulk, you'll see that the bulk is going to be important. I'm going to just do this one more time because I see somebody has asked, and I think it's important that you understand going in. Don't quit on us because, oh my goodness, Mr. Wallace said I got to cut my hair. But if you look here, guys, it says page 3, dress and appearance for males. Check me out. Page 3, male students. Your hair must be neat, clean, combed. Shall not be worn longer than just off the top of a shirt. Hair coloring is allowed, but must remain neutral. Sideburns will be neat and then cut off in the middle. You shall be clean shaven, except you can have a mustache. Ear, nose, tongue, and eyebrow rings will not be worn. Necklaces shall not be seen. It says worn, but if you've got them stowed under your garment, I think we'll be fine. I saw some pretty creative hair colors. Guys, we're looking for natural hair colors. So if right now your hair is purple, enjoy it. I'd like you to find a natural hair color coming back into Eastland. And that goes for young men and young ladies. So your physical appearance is very important to Mr. Graham and I. It's important that when you put on our law enforcement uniform, that you look the part. And that means that you look professional and squared away. We wear the same thing that you wear. We wear polo shirts with criminal justice on it, and we'll wear the same type of tactical pants. And then we both also wear tactical boots. Mrs. Fields, did you want to add something from an academic perspective?
I guess what I'm thinking, normally what I talk about is a lot of what you saw in that first opening video about the academics that we have here, and that it is the same as your home school. So, you know, you have options to take like CCP or accelerated classes, or you can just take a traditional sort of academic class. So you do have some options. A question that people do ask me a lot is if they have a 504 or IEP, if that will still be honored at Eastland, and it will be. So if you do have a 504 or IEP, you will still get all of your services that you would at your regular school, so or your home school. So, you know, keep that in mind. And another thing too that people often ask is, are you still able to be involved at your home school? And that's a yes as well. You can still be in band and track and basketball or the bowling team or whatever it is that you're doing. So definitely still be as involved as you want to be at your home school while you're at Eastland. So I think that's really all that I can think of right now.
Okay. I just saw, it looks like Laura asked about, said she can't get into pro forma website. I just sent the marketing person a text, and she's already responded. She's going to tell us what that answer is. Mrs. Fields, thanks for throwing that stuff out there. It says, so Mrs. Durkin says, you need to use the Chrome browser when you try to get into, excuse me, the pro forma uniform website, and you need to, and there's no password or login. So Laura, if you keep trying and you still aren't getting in, then feel free to let us know that as well. So guys, I know this was oh, here we go. Mrs. Durkin wants to come back in, my bad. Amani, are you in there with us? Here we go. So Amani Slaughter just came in, guys. Are you guys getting that? And then also, let's see. All right, Mr. Graham and Mrs. Fields, do we feel like we've done attendance well? Do we feel like we've checked?
I don't have Yeeson on any of my lists.
Oh, okay, Mrs.
I
Fields.
do not have the last person you just said.
Okay, what was the last person I just said?
I don't know.
Okay,
I found the last person that he just said, but I did not find. Who did you just say again?
Yeeson?
Oh, Yeeson. No, I do not have him.
Let me see if Mrs. Fields
For
is
them.
Mrs.
But I just got the. Did you say Amani Slaughter?
Hi.
Hi. I just got you checked off.
Hey, Mrs. Durkin, I just unmuted you. We're making sure we got attendance right, and we're getting ready to take questions. Can you hear me, ma'am?
I can.
Hey, a Yeeson Sayboy is with us right now, and Mr. Graham and Mrs. Fields are not finding him on our roster.
Okay, let me switch to a different screen here, and I'll ask you to spell the last name for me. Just
Mr. Graham, can you do you have
I
it?
can take care of that.
Hold on.
Whenever you
ready?
Go ahead.
Last name is spelled S as in Sam, A-M-B-O-Y. Sam Boy.
Just like it sounds, huh?
And he's hearing this conversation, so he's he's on with us, which is great. We're going to have these, and everybody else, be patient, please, because we're making sure we have everybody that's here tonight recorded. And again, while Mrs. Durkin takes a look at that, guys, if we don't have your email address, talking mom, dad, legal guardian, or student, if I were you, I'd put them in the chat, and let's let Mr. Graham and Mrs. Fields get them written down, and so I can get you in there.
So is it?
I can hear you, Yeeson.
Yeeson, you were accepted to Fairfield Criminal Justice.
Okay. I'm going to tell him that in the chat here. You hear him? And chosen for Fairfield. Ma'am, do you want to get off and give him a call, or what do you want to do?
He can hop off of here and go to the Fairfield link.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully he's doing that now. I just sent him we cannot. Okay, Ms. Field said we cannot hear you. I just told him he'd been chosen for the Fairfield program. And everybody bear with me just for a second. Easton, hop off here and go to Fairfield CJ hyperlink. And I seen what's happened, ma'am. Those are on that One Day EFCTS website. They're kind of like right on top of each other. And
well, Eastland's all by itself and Fairfield's on a separate page.
Oh, not on ours. They're all three. On my web browser, it's got the satellites and both Eastland and Fairfield. They're all just lumped together right at the top. That's what I was saying, the hyperlink.
Okay. If you click on those links, it takes you to separate pages.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. All right. So guys, if I'm going to unmute yourself at will, I'm going to unmute you. And then if you want to mute yourself back, great. Questions, ask them now. Love to hear your questions.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Monty's at your dad with you? Yeah, hi, Dad. Hey, I can't believe none of you have a question for us.
I have a question. It's actually a scheduling question.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make sure when we go on there to schedule his classes, how do I know that I'm scheduling the right classes? Like the histories that he needs, the Englishes that he needs, the math.
I think, Mrs. Fields, you can cut me off if you want, but I think what will happen is this summer, Mrs. Ferraro and Mr. Miller will already be figuring out exactly what your children need when they step in our door. Mrs. Fields, you agree?
I think so. I don't know exactly what you have to put into the schedule stuff, but I know from what I've heard in the past, they typically look at the child's or the student's schedule previously, and like, let's say, you know, they are typically taking like AP, like college prep, or like whatever kind of classes, then they're probably going to try to schedule them into the higher stuff. If they, you know, typically take traditional classes, they'll do that. And I think they will probably have, like, I don't know, options for you to select if you want to take like a traditional class or what. So has anyone gotten on to do the scheduling stuff?
We scheduled Jordan's classes already, and it was really easy. I'm assuming we did the right thing. Each subject was brought up, and it gave a list of like English. Do we want English 11 advanced, English 11 regular? And you click on the one that you want.
Yeah.
And then for each subject, it gives you options. You choose what you want and press submit. It was really fast and very easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think Mrs. Ennis, did you have a question?
No, I know you probably think of a solid answer. Things are so changing day to day with the education of COVID. I mean, are you guys as a team and as
Ma'am,
this year looks so different, right? What's going on? Are you guys coming up with a plan?
You are coming in super broken. Can you write that in chat?
You know, I actually caught it, Eric.
Oh, go ahead. Take it.
Yeah, so she's asking with COVID and everything going on, if this year is going to be coming into this year, will it be similar or different? Is that what you were asking? Just kind of what is our plan?
Yes.
Eric, you can answer.
I can.
If you, or I can, I don't know.
Why? Go ahead. What was it? So I'm going to apologize. You were talking to her and I was looking at Mr. Miller responded. I want to go back just for a second. He says, if you're not sure, you can submit a question on the one-day site about what classes to take. And then they will also, as guidance counselors, double check everything with your homeschool to make sure that it's all right. So Ms. Fields, what is she asking basically?
So she asked, because of COVID and the pandemic going on, do we have a plan in place for next year, and like what's that going to look like?
Oh, that's a great question. And I got to be honest with you. I talked to my supervisor. His name's Mr. Gates. He is the one of the two assistant principals. You know, he said that there is absolutely a contingency plan in place if mid-August 2020, Governor DeWine says we are still going to learn from home. I promise you, if that happens to you, we don't want you to try to run back to your homeschool. We will educate you. And to the chagrin of some of my kids, we are learning right now, every day. My kids have schoolwork on Canvas and on Remind, and they will right through next Friday before they graduate, the seniors, and then the juniors will have a week of something else. But yes, there is a plan in place. I don't know what it is. But I believe that our school has worked out a contingency. If we need to open in the fall, just like we are now, then we will be open in the fall, just like we are now.
And just so you guys know, all of our students right now, both juniors and seniors, they get class assignments daily.
Yes.
There is a test on Friday.
Absolutely.
And so they're working every day. We have continued from day one. We started passing out assignments.
Yeah, and we send those out via Remind, and we send them out via Canvas, and the kids have to handwrite all their work. because I just kind of feel like Word documents can get passed around real easy. But it's been good. It's been a great experience. Who else? More questions?
I have a question about transportation. So will I be able to get
Who are we listening to?
E-money?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question about transportation. Will there be busing to the Career Center?
Oh, absolutely. Buses to the Career Center. I think on 2-hour delay days, your buses are going to come 2 hours late. Mrs. Fields, if a kid has a spring break with us different than their home school, will their school still provide transportation to and from Eastland?
I think so, but I don't know for sure.
So,
that might be a good question for Mr. Miller. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I don't know the answer to that one, but yes, you will absolutely be able to get on a school bus at your high school, and they will bring you to our school. And at the end of the duty day, they will take you back to your home school.
And the only thing, like Mr. Wallace is saying, if it is a day that you have a 1 or 2 hour delay, you would go with what your homeschool has going on. So if your homeschool is delayed, you will not come to school until 2 hours later, even if we're not delayed, if that makes sense.
And
Is that only if they need a bus? Because he'll be driving most likely.
Nope. That's everybody. Now I'm going to be honest with you. If the road, if you as mom think the roads are okay and your kid can get there, Mr. Graham and I would love to have them first thing in the morning. But we understand 2 hour delay is a 2 hour delay. If you decide, well, my kid's allowed to be 2 hours late, and that means the roads will be a little less snowy, then they will come in and they will be excused from those 2 hours.
Does that require a phone call to the Career Center?
No, we know.
No.
We'll know.
Okay.
We will absolutely know. So, so we will be. We're going to do attendance just like your homeschool is going to do, and obviously attendance is important. And I said it to you once, and I'm going to tell you guys again. Listen, there's 3 things that Mr. Graham and I are going to expect from you, from our vantage point: that you respect yourself. You respect your classmates, your peers, and you respect your educators and your administrators. And then we're also going to ask you to do your best. Do your best. And your best is not always going to be equal. Some of you are going to be more physically fit. Some of you are going to be more academically inclined. And then lastly, we're going to say, come to school. Come to school. I got to tell you guys, I went to Hamilton Township High School. I missed 100 days between my 7th grade and my 10th grade year, 100 school days. I went to Eastland Career Center, and I had 2 years of perfect attendance. Come there, want to be there. Make it your home. Make it your comfortable place. Find a routine, find a niche, and come to school every day, and come to school on time. It's very important. Questions? Nobody else?
Mr. Wallace, we do have, I don't know if we've gotten all these questions on the side here. Did we address this one from Laura Stevenson about the Proforma website?
We did. I did.
Good.
I just told them that Mrs. Durkin said they use a Chrome web browser.
That's right. Okay.
Yep. And let's see. And then I see Mary Ennis asked about COVID-19. Who?
Oh, just the Mason said that his mom isn't able to get on Remind.
Oh,
it looks like he got it, he said.
Okay. Oh, yeah, they should be able to get on Remind. Let me see. Okay, I see all kinds of good email addresses coming in.
Yeah.
And you guys are getting those. And we feel good about attendance, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Feel bad for Mason Ham. Mason, are you still on here with us?
Mason Hammond, he is.
He couldn't get the audio right. So, all right, guys, I will add in those email addresses that you have put into the chat, the group chat, and I will send you all those documents. And I'm begging you, hang up with us when this is over, and download the Remind app and join this class. You're going to love it when you see a remind from me saying, hey, your paper's due in a week, and you can look at your kid and go, how's that term paper coming along for Mr. Wallace's class? Because you're going to get the exact same reminds that I send your kids. And further, if I have to send your kid their own remind, I'm probably going to include you in that distro to make sure we get it done. So here we go. Everybody's looks good. Some people had to do it through Google. Any more questions? It's 7 o'clock.
Is there any way you can check on Jordan's to make sure that his dad is included in the email addresses and the text messages? And
did you send it to us?
Well, I imagine when he enrolled we did, but I just want to make sure since he's not on here tonight.
Well, if you don't mind, ma'am, if you could just put a chat right there for Mr. Graham and Mrs. Fields, I'm sorry.
Just put in everybody's email address that I want you to have included under Jordan.
Yeah.
Just put them in there and we'll make sure they get there.
Sure, I'll do that right now.
Are we cool? Man, I gotta tell you guys, I am so ginned up. I'm losing my mind in my house. My wife and I are foster parents of an 11-month-old infant and a 2-year and 3-month-old toddler. And we have a brand new baby. My wife and I had a new baby on March 10th. And I can hear the kids upstairs screaming right now. My wife's probably thinking, man, this meeting has got to end because I need help. So we're excited. Mr. Graham and I are both excited. We were in school last Monday doing inventory. We're going to be in there next Friday, getting the seniors and the juniors all their personal belongings out and collecting up our textbooks. And then our graduation ceremony is on the 21st of May. I promise you, you have made a great choice to come to Eastland Career Center. And if you give this what you're capable of, you will have zero regrets. We are a fraternity, we are a family, and we are a team. And we are tight-knit. Doesn't mean we always get along, but we are tight-knit. And we will circle the wagons and work as a team. And Mr. Graham and I promise to give you a great education. And Mom and Dad, thank you for sharing your kids with us. I know it's scary to let your kid get on a school bus when they've already made it to their home school and come to a new place. I promise you, you will not regret this experience for them. I promise. Mr. Graham, Ms. Field, you want to say bye before I shut this meeting down?
Bye, everyone. It was nice seeing you.
Nice to see everybody.
All right, guys, we're done here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Unmute. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Just hit leave down.